Hello, conscious business owner. How are you going today? We've got another live that I'm going to be talking about a guide to acknowledgement of country for business. So before I start, I'm just going to make sure I have gone live. Sometimes these things can be a little bit tricky and they say you're live, but then you're not. And I'm just going to test with whether the sound is working. It is. Beautiful. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about a guide to acknowledgement of country for business. Now, if you're watching and you have questions, please feel free to ask me questions. Questions are my absolute favorites. I love answering them. I love receiving them because that helps guide me on little things like what you need to know. Sometimes I think I know what you want to hear. Sometimes I think I know the questions that you have. But you always surprise me with new amazing questions, so please ask them. Also, if you're watching along, please feel free, wherever you're watching this, to pop where you're joining me from in the chat box. So let me know the Aboriginal country you are on or First Nations lands you are on, wherever you're watching from. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, the very first question that a lot of people are asking is, what is an acknowledgement of country? Now, there is some confusion around an acknowledgement of country versus a welcome to country. Now, an acknowledgement of country is something that anyone can do. It is not specifically for Aboriginal people to do or custodians to do. It is for everyone to do. Now, Aboriginal people and custodians will do an acknowledgement of country when they are on a country that is not their own. So it is a customary practice that is on all Aboriginal lands, and it is just a show of respect. It is a way of saying, I acknowledge that you are the custodian here in this place. And because I acknowledge that, I am going to show verbally my respect to you and acknowledge you are the custodians, you are the caretakers here. These are your lands, and you have that spiritual tie and connection to those lands. So it really, really is a show of respect. And if there are people who are refusing to do acknowledgement of country or do not like acknowledgement of country, that is something that can tell us that either they don't understand quite what an acknowledgement of country is, or they do understand and they don't respect Aboriginal people or acknowledge Aboriginal people as custodians of those lands. So that's, in a real quick nutshell, what an acknowledgement of country is, and a little bit about how we do it and what it's about. So let's jump into the next part of this, which is what you might not actually know about acknowledgements of country. So this is something I really love talking to my clients about, because there are little bits and pieces to giving an acknowledgement of country that a lot of people aren't really aware of. Let me have a quick sip. My throat is a little bit tender this morning for some reason. It might be the cold that's going on here in Boorloo. So I am in Perth. That's Boorloo. That's the name of this actual location, the Aboriginal name. So I might just do a really quick acknowledgement of country just to show you how you can do a quick verbal one as well. So I, Louise O'Reilly of the Wadawa and Noongar people, would like to acknowledge the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation as the traditional and ongoing custodians on the lands and waters in which I'm joining you from. I pay respects to the elders and thank them for their love, their guidance, their support, and their community leadership. I'm very, very grateful to the custodians and the elders, and I wish to also pay respects and acknowledge the custodians on the lands in which you are joining me from, and pay my deep respects to their elders on those lands in whatever title they refer to themselves there as well. So that's a really quick verbal one that you can do. I did extend it out a little bit. It can be a little bit shorter than that, but I would love you to get to the point where at any moment you can give acknowledgement of country that's really connecting, that comes from you, comes from your heart, and you can do it on the fly. I would love for you to get to that point where you feel that confidence to be able to do that and deliver that to your audience. Now, after that, let's have a little bit of a look about what you might not know about what an acknowledgement of country can do. So, as you know, most people think and know it is about showing respect and acknowledging those custodians, but there are a few other little bits and pieces it does too. So, number one, it communicates your allyship towards Aboriginal people and culture. So that's something that it actually shares. It tells a story of your respect for Aboriginal people and culture. Number two, it signals to your audience that you support social justice. Number three, it shows that disrespect and things like discrimination won't be tolerated in any of your business spaces. I am looking on the screen because there's quite a few here. Okay, so number four is it role models respect and responsibility, especially if you have a platform or influence. Now, if you're a business owner, you have a platform. If you've got your own Facebook account, if you've got your own Instagram account, YouTube, whatever platform that's yours that goes out to the public, you have influence then. If you have followers, you have influence. If you have clients, you have influence. So it's a way of role modeling that respect to your audience. Now, number five, not number four, number five, it helps others understand a new cultural norm. So what an acknowledgement of country is, it is a custodial practice that we have been doing in the Aboriginal community forever. It is something that is just normal and natural when you're on someone's lands, which to Aboriginal people means you are inside or on someone's home. So our homes are not limited to our yard and our actual house, our dwelling. Our home is actually the boundary of our land. So you're actually within our home when you're on those lands. And so it's just a beautiful way of acknowledging that and showing respect that you're in someone's home. And it's very normal. It's not anything new, but what it can start to do is create a new culture where it's normal to show respect to Aboriginal people and to Aboriginal culture. And number seven is, I think that's what we're up to. Number seven, it also encourages others to do so. So when we are doing acknowledgement of country, others see us doing it. And this is part of that influence that we have. And it makes them see it's okay for them to do it too. And especially if you mess it up, if you muddle it up, which I do all the time, I muddle it up all the time, I am human. But that adds that element of humanness to it. And it really speaks to them to say, you know what? It was totally okay when they did it and they muddled it up. It didn't erase the importance. It didn't erase the impact or the meaningfulness of it. It just was a little mess up. And then they went on and it was still beautiful and wonderful. And so that must mean it's okay for me to muddle it up too. And, kind of work my way through how to actually say in a way that feels really right for me. Okay, I do want to actually speed these up because I don't want this live to be too long. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is where you can include an acknowledgement of country if you're a business owner. So there are so many different spaces where you can add an acknowledgement of country if you are a business owner. So you can do it at the start of anything like this, a live. You can do it at the start of a webinar, at the start of any kind of speech or formal presentation. You can put it at your on your email as your footer. It can be on your website as the footer. I've also seen people do it as like a pop-up. So whatever page people end up on or enter on, a pop-up comes up to give the acknowledgement of country, which I think is really, really beautiful because it's almost like saying, before anything else, before you see anything else, I want to acknowledge the Aboriginal people and the custodians of these lands. So that is a really beautiful way of doing it. Other places you can do it is you can do pin posts in different social media platforms, or you can do it just regularly. You can say, every few months you're going to do acknowledgement of country again, just so that when the feed goes down and starts, you're not seeing older posts. It's just a refresh of that acknowledgement of country as well. So there's so many different ways you can do it. But it's also important not to just do it on those really culturally significant days. So don't just do it during the NAIDOC week. Don't just do it on those on reconciliation week. Don't do it on just on those days. Do it on those days, but also make sure you're doing it at other times too, when it's not some significant event, because it really can be received as tokenism and being performative if it's only on those dates. We want to make sure that you are actually expressing your respect for Aboriginal people and culture and doing it in a really beautiful way. And by just doing it on those days, it might not reflect exactly the depths of your respect. So doing it on lots of different days can be helpful. There are so many other spaces that you can do it. Be anywhere that you know the public will see it is a great place. Now, in terms of, if you're doing things for business, where do you do it? Here's my rule of thumb. If you are telling people to meet you at a certain place at a certain time, that's an appropriate place to do an acknowledgement of country. Except, then there is a caveat to it, except if it is, and so it is when you have like a formal facilitator or host or speaker. Unless it's like just a kind of a get together, then that is where you probably wouldn't do one. It might feel a bit weird to do that one, and I would think it would be a bit weird to do that as well. But basically any other time that you're telling people in a semi-formal or formal space to meet together at a certain time and place, that's an appropriate time to do an acknowledgement of country. And I've just answered this next question. When is appropriate to do an acknowledgement of country? So just as I said, that is how it's going to, that's where it is appropriate to do it and when it is appropriate to do it. Okay, now if you are not sure if you are getting it right, feel how it feels within you, right? It's meant to come from you. It's meant to be personalized. You're meant to feel something within when you do it. If you have to rush through it, if it feels vague, if it's copied or pasted, if it feels disconnected to you, you're not quite there yet. But you can be. So these are some questions that you can ask yourself, all right? Does it feel grounded and heartfelt to you? If it is, that's great. If it's not, then there might need to be some tweaking that you need to do to reflect better that acknowledgement from you as an individual and through your business. Does it reflect my voice and my values? And am I genuinely honoring country and custodian? Those are 3 questions that you can ask yourself. So that again was, does this feel grounded and heartfelt? Does it reflect my voice and my values? And am I genuinely honoring country and custodians? There are 3 questions you can ask yourself to see whether it is something that is being done right. And you will feel it within you, whether it's being done right. And also, if you do feel that it is being done right, but then you have someone from the Aboriginal community say maybe not doing it like that way, or maybe giving you some feedback about it, please be open to it. It is a loving gesture to actually contact you and talk to you about it. So to give you an opportunity to tweak it and change it, that is actually a loving gesture. That's a calling in, coming closer. We see what you're doing, we know what you're trying to do, and we're supporting you on making it more respectful, more meaningful. Okay, so don't take it as like this is a rejection and a push away. It's not. It's a calling in. If it was a push away or a rejection, they would not contact you. They would just be like, that person, I heard their acknowledgement of country, it's pretty average or it's disrespectful. So the fact that they're actually talking to you, please take that with so much grace and gratitude that they have chosen to approach you and call you in. Okay, let's get on to what should a basic acknowledgement of country include. My throat is very, very, very dry. Okay, So there are three basic things that your acknowledgement standard one can include. So the first one is to acknowledge the custodians or the language group of the people of the land that you're on. Did you keep up with that sentence? So acknowledging the language group or the people on those lands, that's the very first part of it. The second part, if it is possible to have the name of the location that you're actually on. So for example, here in Perth, the Aboriginal name for the actual location of Perth is Boorloo. So we are on Whadjuk country, and the Whadjuk people are the custodians here. And Boorloo is the place I'm joining you from, the actual physical location point. Number three, make sure you pay special respects to the elders of those lands. Elders are very sacred in our communities. They are revered. They are deeply loved. And if you are not paying special respect to the elders, that can feel like a disrespect to the community. So make sure you're having at least, number one, the name of the Aboriginal lands or the group of people, the language group of people, and make sure you're having the respect, showing the respect for elders. And number two, the actual location Aboriginal name, if it's possible for you to get that, use that as well. So that's just the general one you can do. So here's the next thing, but what if it actually feels generic? This is what a lot of socially conscious business owners can feel, people who really do have that deep respect, love, and appreciation for Aboriginal people and culture. And part of it is because you want to actually be sharing more of you, you want to have more connection, more impact, it to be more meaningful. And that is really, really a beautiful thing to do. So what I do with my clients is we actually make it more personalized. We make it come directly from the heart. We make sure things like your values are included in it. So this is kind of the things that I add into my clients' acknowledgements of country that I help them with. And so we do things making sure, like I just said, we have their values added into it. So values are something that connects with your audience, connects with your business, and also connects with acknowledgement of country and the Aboriginal community. So there's so much connection that can happen through making sure you have your values present inside your acknowledgement of country. Then there's also your business, so your business values or your mission themes, those kinds of things. So it's a way of connecting the acknowledgement of country and the custodians and the custodial role, connecting it back with your business. And so it is a way of expressing my business can do this or exist in this way because of this custodianship and the way this place has been held and cared for. It also helps to shape the way your acknowledgement of country is going to go. So there might be a certain theme. So for instance, you might have a childcare business. So you might really value caretaking of children and nurturing children and, teaching them and being role models for them. So all those kinds of themes can come through in your acknowledgement of country. Then we also have like a personal gratitude. So this is where you get to say, it is because of this custodianship and how you have kept this place beautiful and thriving that I'm actually able to be here, work here, raise my family here, and do all those kinds of things. So there's a personal connection directly to that, which really does connect it back to you in a very, very deep way. Then there support statements that we can also do. So these are often connected with like Aboriginal justice, social justice movements and campaigns. And so you can add into your acknowledgement of country some kind of slogan or campaign that you really believe in into your acknowledgement of country. And then the last thing we do is we have like a allyship commitment. So this is where you are verbally formally going to commit what kind of actions you are going to take to be a good ally and where you are going from there. So those are some extra things you can add into your acknowledgement of country to make it deeper and more personal. I do actually want to give you a client example now. This one is from the Forever Agenda. Now, the Forever Agenda is an amazing business that supports other companies or businesses or government organisations with volunteers who do land care type practices. So it's a lot about volunteering and supporting volunteers and managing volunteers. So this is the long version of it that I work with this client on. And in a one-on-one session, we did this and we created this within the hour. It might have even been a half hour. No, it wasn't. It was an hour. And it really connects back to the business. It really connects and shares the respect, and it really connects to the business values and themes. So let me share it with you. This can always be cut down. So it's great to do like a big one. And then when you need, and just depending on where you do it, there might be shorter versions of this. Okay, let me go. The Forever Agenda respectfully acknowledges the Bunurong Boon Wurrung and the Wiradjuri Woi Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation as the custodians of the place we are based. We would like to thank them for the custodial role they play here in the before, in the present, and in the future. Their care for the land and custodianship has ensured we are all experiencing the abundance of this place, and we are thriving to a point where we can give back to community. We can serve our community, we can contribute positive social change, and we can do it in a voluntary capacity. The magnificent forests, the clear flowing creeks, and the magical presence of the creatures here, like the oddly wondrous platypus, the cleverly hidden echidnas, and the lazy day koalas, and the majestic black cockatoos, are all attributed to the nurture, love, and precise land care management you practice. The Forever Agenda recognises the unwavering spiritual connection you have to this country and acknowledges that sovereignty has never been ceded. We also wish to share our deep respects to the elders of this place across time. Your community and cultural leadership is inspirational, and your contribution to the community is honourable. We are grateful. So that is a beautiful way to share all of those different points. And can you see and feel how different that feels? I'm just checking if I've got a comment to come up. Can you just see how different that feels than your standard copy and paste acknowledgement of country that feels like if there's no real heart involved in it, there's no real meaning behind it. When you have an acknowledgement like that, people stop. They are amazed. They are in awe, because I'm getting a little bit emotional, because they can actually feel it coming from you. So if you do want help in crafting your own acknowledgement of country, not anything like the one before, but one that's crafted exactly reflective of your own values, of your own business themes, and one that comes directly from you, from your heart, I would love, love, love to work with you on your acknowledgement of country. It is a 1 hour session that I have available. So it's just a one-on-one on Zoom. We get together, we work through your acknowledgement of country, and by the end of the hour, you will have your acknowledgement crafted beautifully like the Forever Agenda had. I would love for you to come and join me in doing that. Now, if you do and depending on when you're watching this video, but if you do book in your session before the, hold on, let me have a look at the date, before the 26th of May in 2025, you can get it at a discount. So you can get the session, the hour session, for $87 if you use the coupon code BLOG87. So I'll just pop in the comments here. This is what it looks like. There's BLOG87. In the description of this video, you will find the link to book a session with me. Now, also, if you want to look at and learn a little bit more about acknowledgement of country in a bit more depth than what I have here, I also have a blog, and the link to the blog is linked in this description as well. So I would love to work with you. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If you have questions about anything, anything I've said in this live, or you have additional questions I haven't actually answered about an acknowledgement of country, let me know. I would love to answer them. Now, I do have, let me go back here. I do have one final thought for you today. Well, thoughts. The very first thought that I have for you is that a lot of people feel acknowledgements can be performative or tokenistic, and they can be fearful that other people perceive them to be that way. It's not performative and it's not tokenistic as long as it's coming from you, it's personalized to you. It's sharing a bit about who you are. You are being respectful in the way you're delivering it. And also, you are making sure it's your extent of your respect to Aboriginal people and culture doesn't stop at an acknowledgement of country. That is actually extended through your business, that you are considering Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as your clientele, as your customers, and therefore you're building a business with them in mind and the things that they need, they might desire, they might want. So if you are making sure that you are still being an ally outside of an acknowledgement of country, you're supporting social justice movements, you are sharing celebrations of Aboriginal people, you are learning about culture and how to be respectful, it can't be performative. It can't be tokenistic, because you are doing the work. The work involves unpacking your privilege and understanding it. It involves keeping your biases in check and becoming aware of some unconscious biases and working through them. So as long as you're doing that stuff, it's not tokenistic. It's not performative. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's absolutely, as I said earlier, it's okay if you fumble through it. That is okay. What shows through is your effort. What shows through is that you are learning. What shows through is that you think it's important enough to do, even if you are stumbling along the way. That's what matters. So doing it and doing it, stumbling or doing it badly, not disrespectfully, but badly, is better than not doing it at all. Not doing it at all sends some really awful messages that maybe you don't respect Aboriginal people, maybe you don't respect Aboriginal culture, and I don't think that's for you. If you watched it this far, that's definitely not you. So make sure you're doing it, and if you do need any support, I am right here. And in the meantime, I'm cheering you on. Much love, and bye for now.